Thanks for taking your time to do this interview with me. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Ruben Baena. I've been working for Big Five for about 5 years, and I've been a
Mm-hmm.
manager for about three, and I've been Derek's manager for just about a year now.
Yeah, just about a year. Okay, so we're gonna start off the interview. Why do you think your subordinates, followers, follow you? In other words, what do you think is your greatest source of power?
I think my greatest source of power is being able to work with just about anybody. I'm very open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
I like to take everybody's opinion into consideration before I make a major move in the store or anything like that.
That's
I
good.
feel like having my subordinates, I guess followers, my employees,
Mm-hmm.
feel like they can come to me
Mm-hmm.
helps the work environment.
Oh, that's great. Um, so, what important traits do you feel a successful leader should possess?
Again, I think a leader needs to have an open mind,
Mm-hmm.
needs to be willing to put in work himself or herself.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, I guess I guess the biggest thing is having an open mind,
Mm-hmm.
and everything will work itself out.
That's good. Can you give me an example of how you think these traits help a leader to be successful?
Well, if you have an open mind, back to the first question, and you take everybody's ideas into consideration, um, it'll help my job easier, make my job easier, which in turn would hopefully make my employees' job easier. Um, if I get out and do work, it'll show the employees that I'm not just a manager, I'm there to work, and hopefully they would follow.
Great answer. What comes to mind when I say people are born leaders?
Let's see, I feel like people are born leaders means, for some reason, I just think of extroverts. They're born
Mm-hmm.
very personal people, very outgoing, not so much that they're bossy, but they're just very personable, so they're easy to talk to, and just things like that.
What makes you say that?
Well, I feel if you're personable and very like an extrovert, you can talk to just about anybody. And as leader, you need to be able to talk to younger people, sorry about that. Younger
It's okay.
people, older people. You have to be able to communicate with people, and I feel as a leader, you have to have that trait or those traits.
Okay. So, how have past career experiences helped you in developing as a leader? So, if you want to consider all things, maybe like mentors, training, hands on experience.
Well, I feel when I started with the company about 5 years ago, I was lucky enough to have really, really, really great store managers to have, or to set a great example for what kind of manager I wanted to be. And so it was easy to kind of piggyback off of their management style. So my mentors, I guess you could say, had a really big part of my management.
Mm-hmm. Currently, what percentage of your time is spent supporting the social or emotional needs of your employees versus planning and providing resources so your employees can get their job done?
During work hours, I do like to get to know my employees a little bit better and
Yeah.
really hands-on with my employees, because I feel if my employees are happy, the work's going to be that much easier, and it's going to make them want to be at work, and the work's going to get done faster. Unfortunately, though, with Big Five policies, we're not allowed to really communicate or really get to know employees outside of work, because the way their policy is we can't really get together and know each other, because it could cause a rift inside the store itself.
That makes sense. So was there a time when you think these percentages were different? Why is that?
I feel like when I first started, they might have been more heavily weighed on getting the job done and not really paying attention to emotional or social needs. But that was only my own fault, because brand new, I just wanted to get the work done and show my managers, as a trainee, that I would make a great manager. But I found that being a great manager, you need to be very involved with your employees as well.
What comes to mind when I say that employees, like computers, are another tool for an organization to accomplish its goals?
Well, in the Big Five realm, I see my employees as what makes the store run. Just like a lot of the times in like tech jobs or whatever, the computer is what makes the job. Here at Big Five, the employees make the store run. I can let my employees know what they need to do, and they'll get it done. They do the sales, they take care of the sales, they do just about everything. So I believe employees is what makes the company thrive.
What makes you say that?
Well, just experience. I see it. I see my employees pretty much run the store. They can do sales in shoes, they can do sales in the gun department, they can get on the register, and without that, I mean, you really can't be open for business. And it also helps that I started from the bottom and I worked my way up, so I saw the other side. I saw the sales side.
Mm-hmm. How much time do you spend getting to know your employees beyond the work environment?
Again, back to the policy question.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the policy, I can't get to know my employees outside of work, because we could all be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. How important is it for a leader to be aware of her employees' individual emotional needs?
I think it's a huge thing, and I wish I would have known that when I first started, because if there's something going on in your employee's personal life, or they're not there emotionally, it could be bad for business. And just as humans, we should be taking care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a bigger thing other than the job. So they don't need to be there, or
Mm-hmm.
they can't be there. They need to be taken care of first.
Mm. On average, how much time do you spend providing criteria for what is expected to complete tasks and goals?
I would probably say about maybe 85%, but that's just because Big Five has
Mm-hmm.
very specific guidelines as to how they want people trained or what they want trained. And as far as merchandising skills, most of the employees, will get hands-on experience. So, I mean, when it comes to merchandising, we're very open about letting each individual employee kind of lay out their own floor plan of, let's say, a display rack. And if it needs tweaking, we will tweak it. But as far as that kind of criteria, we kind of leave it open to the employees.
Okay. What would have to or has occurred that has caused a communicative breakdown of these expectations?
Can you repeat that question?
So, what would have occurred that has caused a communicate breakdown of these expectations?
I feel like maybe not being able to get hands-on with all the employees,
Mm-hmm.
because we have different managers. It's not just myself as a manager. We have, 3 other managers. So each one of them has their own different styles. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I don't want to. If they already took their time to train an employee, I'm not gonna. I don't want to go against their word and talk to the other employee. If that's how they got trained, that's how they got trained. And
Yeah.
if they come to me for questions, then I'll happily answer. But
Mhm.
I don't want to step on any of the other managers' toes. So I think that kind of hurts the communication because we're not all on the same page on how to manage
Oh, okay.
certain people.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, have you ever had your integrity questioned, and how did you react?
I feel like when I first started, yes, being such a young manager, it's
Mhm.
kind of hard when you have to tell or you have to let older people
Mhm.
you have to lead older people because they might have a little bit more experience than you
Mhm.
or what have you. So when you get the older people come in and they see this 23-year-old manager, they kind of
Mhm.
like they step back and say, hey, like, should
Mhm.
you really be telling me what to do?
Yeah.
You're a young guy.
Mhm.
But the first time it happened, it did kind of like throw me back, kind of hurt.
Yeah.
But I realized it comes with the territory, and
Mhm.
I just have to move past it and get on the
Mhm.
same page as the employee.
Very understandable. So, what is the biggest challenge you have faced as a leader?
Um, I would probably say getting everybody on the same page,
Mhm.
whether it's the new people or getting the older people or people older than me to kind of follow me
Mhm.
because of my age. I don't want that to. I guess that was the hardest thing to do was to get people to follow you and like really trust you
Mhm.
as a manager.
Hmm. How did you overcome that challenge?
I still haven't completely. I still have some employees who come in and don't want to listen because of my age. All I can do is just set a good example and hopefully they follow. I mean, I'm not going to reprimand somebody for how they feel. Um, if it gets to a point where I need to talk to them, I will. If it's going to cause a rift at work, but usually I like to just like show them I'm there to work as well, to not treat me as a manager um, all the time. I am. We are. We are a team, and we need to get things
Mhm.
done together.
Yeah. How do you motivate your team?
Um, I do like to verbally motivate them,
Mhm.
either by I feel like being vocal about them doing a good job really motivates them to do more,
Mhm.
and let them know that they're doing a good job.
So that positive feedback.
Positive feedback,
Mhm.
so they can continue to work hard and want to come into work and work hard.
Mhm.
Because if they come in and do a good job, and I just say, well, that's your job, um, the morale's going to be low, and nobody's going to want to be there.
Okay. What, if anything, has to happen for you to adapt your leadership style?
Unless policy changes and I can't manage the way I want to manage, if they become more strict as far as their guidelines to manage all employees, maybe to try to get all the managers managing one way, I think that's the only thing that would possibly have to happen for me to change my management style.
Mm-hmm. To what extent do you think it is important for a leader to admit failure to his or her followers?
Can you read that one more time?
So, to what extent do you think it is important for a leader to admit failure to his or her followers?
I think it's very important,
Mhm.
because I don't think um, employees should look at the managers as someone so high up.
Mhm.
We're all susceptible to failure, and
Mhm.
it would be important to know for an employee to know that managers also fail. Nobody's perfect.
Mhm.
If you fail, try to we try to fix it as a team and we move forward. Um,
Mhm.
they need to know that everybody fails, not just part timers.
Oh, okay. So, what is the biggest change you have seen develop in your followers, your team, and yourself?
Well, I mean, seeing that I've switched many stores, so I've had quite several teams, I guess you can say. But I guess the biggest change in myself would be being more emotionally involved with
Mhm.
them at work when I can.
Mhm.
Just try to get to know them, try to make sure everything's okay at home,
Mhm.
and really just being more personable and personal with them.
Mhm.
In what's the word I'm looking for?
Hmm.
Within company
Within
guidelines,
company
yeah.
guidelines. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for giving me your time and helping me with my understanding of leadership. Is there anything you think I should have asked that I didn't?
No, I think that
I
was a
asked.
pretty good interview.
That was a pretty good interview.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Ruben. I appreciate everything you've doing for me.
Of course.
All right. Okay.